Argentina is one of the biggest beef-eating countries in the world. But people there are turning to cheaper meats and vegetables. Why? Because incomes are falling and inflation is rising. Even community soup kitchens are facing shutdowns. Such is the situation that some people are having to scavenge for food. But despite the food emergency, Argentina's President Javier Milei says he is determined to push forward with drastic measures in order to stabilize the economy. Jayant Das reports from New Delhi.
Imagine such poverty that food becomes a commodity hard to obtain. Imagine sick and malnourished children paying the price for poverty. That is exactly what is happening in Argentina. Runaway inflation, crushing poverty, and a terrible struggle for food, a basic amenity of life. What led to it? Javier Milei won the presidential elections in November 2023, riding a wave of public discontent. The far-right, anti-establishment and hot-blooded leader has on countless occasions mentioned his admiration for Donald Trump of the United States and American billionaire Elon Musk. When he assumed office as the president of Argentina, inflation was at a high of 143%, poverty at 40%, and external debt stood at $110 billion. Milei took swift actions. He said Argentina needed, quote, drastic measures, unquote, a shock therapy of sorts to recover the economy. In his initial package of measures, Milei devalued Argentina's currency, the peso, by 50%, slashed state subsidies for fuel, and cut the number of government ministries by half. But almost a year after his victory, what has been the outcome of his austerity measures? Have inflation and poverty reduced? No. Milei's austerity measures to steer Argentina's economy out of its crises are creating short-term problems. Devaluation of the peso has pushed inflation up, fuel is costly for the poor, and spending cuts are posing newer challenges for the poor. According to a study conducted by the National Institute of Statistics and Census of Argentina, poverty rate shot up to nearly 53% in the first half of 2024 from 41.7% in the December last year. Inflation reached 236.7% in August 2024, which is among the highest in the world. Community soup kitchens, an important component of the efforts to tackle food crisis among the poor, are facing shutdowns and cuts in funds because of the new zero deficit plan. Milei has linked the high deficit to an unrestricted public spending by politicians. What he means by zero deficit is to control income and spending of the government down to the last peso. For this purpose, Milei announced that provinces must cut their budgets by some $60 billion to reduce total national expenditure to 25% of GDP. And presenting the 2025 budget, Milei said he will veto any bill that threatens his plan for fiscal balance.
There is nothing more impoverishing for Argentines than the fiscal deficit. That's why we vetoed the project of increasing public spending approved by this Congress. And that's why we will veto any projects that threaten fiscal balance.
Furthermore, the soup kitchens are feeling the heat with double trouble of high inflation and rise in poverty. The number of poor has gone up, but the quantity of food going around has gone down. The Milei government recognizes a food emergency. He says the government has made arrangements for increased payouts for universal child allowance and food cards. The government says the days ahead will be kind. The draft budget foresees the economy expanding 5% in 2025, inflation dropping some 18% by the end of next year, and the exchange rate weakening to 1,207 peso per dollar by late 2025. But the current reality is harsh. According to 2024 UN report, cases of moderate to severe food insecurity have doubled to 36% over the last 7 years. Around 1.5 million children miss a meal every day. 7 in 10 children live in poverty. They are eating fewer nutritious foods such as meat, milk and vegetables, all of which have become more costly of late, leading to malnutrition and other health complications. Argentina is known for its steakhouses. Beef is a traditional cuisine, but the country is witnessing a dip in beef consumption. A combination of factors are responsible for it. For one, beef prices are up on account of inflation, and two, people are switching to cheaper options such as chicken and pasta. While the current times see sufferings, Milei hopes to dollarize the economy and set it on the path of recovery. He plans to effectively counter the deficit and debt alike. For now, however, it seems the Argentinian people have to swallow the bitter pill and hope for a better future. Jan Das's report for DD India.